may not see the end of it, but luckily she comes around. It isn't what she talks about, it's just the way she is. She says, ooh, darling, don't you know, the darkness comes and the darkness goes. She says, ooh, babe, why don't you let it go? Happiness ain't never how you think it should be, so we mystified a simple life, we covered up with consciousness. I saw myself and broke it down till nothing more was left. She saw the symptoms right away and spoke to me in poetry. Sometimes the more you wonder why, the worse it seems to get. She says, ooh, darling, don't you know, the darkness comes and the darkness goes. She says, ooh, babe, why don't you let it go? Happiness ain't never how you think it should be, so she runs away.
Hello, I'm from the South Australian Government, here to introduce our new law to put an end to peaceful protests in our state. That might sound like a bad law, and civil rights groups, legal experts, even our unions are saying it's a bad law, but here at the South Australian Government we reflected on it and said, are we out of touch? No, it's the people who are wrong. Introducing the Obstruction of Public Places Bill. If passed, this law will impose huge increases in fines and even jail time for obstructing a public place. What constitutes obstructing is super vague. That's because we bashed this bill together in 20 minutes with help from the shit party and rushed it through with no consultation, which means it'll pretty much target anyone. Unions and workers protesting for better pay, students striking for climate action, even someone handing out flyers. We realise this might discourage many of you from attending any protest ever again, but we're here to reassure you that's precisely the intent, which might seem odd coming from a party whose roots lie in the protest movement, but it makes total sense once you realise we're now the party of the oil and gas companies who own our ass. And those companies are really unhappy that some of you sprayed paint on the Santos building and peacefully protested outside a conference where they were discussing how to keep making more money from killing the world. To which we literally told them, we're at your disposal. And to prove it, this guy, who is Santos's bitch, introduced this new law the very next day. But rest assured, it definitely has nothing to do with the fact that Pete's brother works for Santos as head of government relations. Cool and normal. Also, no conflict of interest with Santos sponsoring police cars in this country. Cooler. With this new law, South Australia joins other states that have recently passed laws to punish peaceful protests. Sure, our penalties will be the harshest in Australia, but be grateful because, as this dickhead said, in some countries you'd get your head chopped off for protesting. Visit South Australia, land of freedom, where protesting only gets you bankrupted and jailed for 3 months. If you'd like to support this shitfuckery, please blame the
greeny lefty losers
for inconveniently disrupting traffic instead of the c***s who are killing our mother. We love it when you fight each other instead of us. And if you don't support our new law, well, now would be the time to say, fuck this shit, and peacefully protest in the streets. Or tomorrow, it'll be illegal. This has been a message from the government of Santos, South Australia. Fuck you. Authorised by the Department at the Disposal of Gas Companies.
course I'm singing along. I've been singing along to that song for 3 years now. It never gets old. It never gets old. Welcome to the machine. I did. I had a Pink Floyd night. How's our audio? Because my audio has been all over the place since the watch party. Let me know if we're too loud, too quiet. Welcome to all the newcomers. I see a lot of newcomers in here. Welcome to the show. And this is an elite club, so feel special you're here. Yeah. For sure. For sure. Well, you got your rose-colored ones on, so that's good. Your blue blockers. Did you buy those from Alex Jones? I know. JB's a little spendy for his stuff. I'm just saying. Farron's hanging out. We miss you, Farron. It's been a year since the Johnny Depp verdict, Amber Heard verdict. Like, wow, a year. No sound for Oz. Okay, they're saying Oz is censored. You must be muted.
Oh, no sound for us.
That's okay.
No, I didn't say anything, so it doesn't make any difference. Can you hear me now, guys? I think I've got sound now.
I can hear you now.
Yeah.
Sound.
So, yeah.
Oz, you're censored.
You're censored. Yeah, I am censored. So
Danda's level is decent. Still no us. Thanks for letting us know. So our sound is a Satan. We say it all the time.
Yeah.
Audio is Satan.
Audio is Satan.
I've been fighting mine all week. I got amazing stream deck with, I'm not even kidding, 50 sound effects on here. I got some classics. I got some hilarious ones. And I can hear them and they go through my system, but I can't get it to where you guys can hear them. And I worked on it all week.
So you did reach out to Brother Reef over there at INN Independent
Well, I was
News.
hanging out at Bitch because Comrade Misty.
Oh, yeah, that was fun.
She brought Bitch back. So Bitch is back and I love that show. It's so much fun. And of course, Reef and Indy were hanging out over there. So I left a message. Hey, Reef, I need your help. But I will be reaching out to you, Reef, if you're watching.
Yeah, jeez. How come I'm shorter than you tonight? Usually we're about the same height, but I'm shorter. It's got to be me. It's not you.
I don't know. I've been out walking. Maybe I'm taller. I don't know.
Anyway, I better start calling off the chat. We got a packed show again tonight. So
2 bunnies.
Yeah.
Good to see you.
Yeah.
When was the watch party? It was on Rockfin, and it was Pink Floyd's The Wall, and it was the remastered version. And yeah, you can catch it over on Rockfin at Roar Media. And we're going to do it again. That was really fun. And so now I'm looking for other stuff we can bring and do watch parties and chat about because it was a blast. Farron, thank you so much for the super chat. Pour out one to all the GOP candidates running around Iowa today. Y'all are, oh, no, stop moving. Y'all are our vote counts. Don't worry, folks. Love you guys. Keep up the work. We love you. We miss you. We want to do something. I see people all over like, you guys need to do something with Farron.
Yeah, we do. Absolutely. I think I've got everything fixed. I got the sound fixed. Check. I just got to get my height. I'm Frodo Baggins here. I'm way too. I am. I'm just.
I love Frodo. So there you go.
Yeah. Well, don't call me Gollum. That's the only thing I just. Kate, Kamishwari, Kate, Cold Fusion Gaming. Good to see you, Popeye, Red Angel. Good to see you, Jelly. Hi, Barbara. V. I can't pronounce V. First time here. V. Olafas. Can you pronounce that? I can't pronounce it.
No, but we apologize for being dumb Americans.
Yeah. No, I don't apologize. I wouldn't want to change anything because they're not going to change anything. So I apologize for not being able to pronounce your name. Go Start. What's going on? Go Start. Farron on TV. Are you on TV, Farron? You're on TV, Farron. We miss you, Farron.
Rad Angel.
What's going on?
I get all your messages, Rad Angel. Thank you so much.
Anthony. I high-fived Anthony today. I think he had a tweet this morning. Good to see you, Anthony. Jax. What's going on, Jax? How's Elfie? How's everybody? Are you doing good this week? Last week was a little rough. Al Walski. Good to see you, Al. Midnight Karma, good evening. Midnight Karma. Oh, yeah. Wow. Great. Gamer.
Hey,
I see Gamer.
I was hanging out with Gamer. Hey, I was hanging out with Gamer in some other chat. Probably Savvy's chat and probably Misty's chat. And I just love coming into a chat and the fams is there. It's like going home.
Yeah. Do you have the Rockfin?
I do have the Rockfin up. And Fred Edwards, thank you so much for always tweeting our stuffs out. Fred's over there hanging out.
Hi, Fred.
So Jim was trying to let you know you were muted too.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you.
Yeah,
I can't help it. I'm old.
Copeland Morris is hanging out over there. Kate, I'm sorry that you had to run, but you can always catch us on the replay, like we say. So
yeah, got to catch us on the flip flop.
And all of our Patreons are running in the background. We love our Patreons. Our Patreons are growing. You guys are amazing. So you can go over to Beauty and the Boomer. What is it? .com or Patreon. Yeah, it's www.patreon.com/Beauty and the Boomer to help us out.
Yeah,
fair bunnies.
Two bunnies. Fair abuse. Fair use, everybody.
Fair abuse.
Fair abuse. We like fair abuse. We get fair abuse. Here's
like mutual combat.
No, this is the most important one. Some people just don't get satire anymore. What happened to that? Is it are they unable to understand satire, or what the hell's going on?
They're outlawing satire. Maybe we should, I was thinking we should do a 1984 watch party, but let me tell you, they've got some of the craziest 70s bush I've ever seen. I was shocked the other night. We're watching The Wall. I totally forgot there was a lot of TNA in that movie. So I was a little like, oh my gosh, maybe I should have watched it all the way through again, because I hadn't watched it since the 80s. But let's definitely do 1984.
Oh yeah, there was tacos and avocados. That's
tacos.
Yeah, it was kind of shocking. Is that what
you called them as a kid?
Yeah, no, I didn't know what I was doing until I was like, I started pulling on myself at 7, I think, and then I didn't figure I didn't figure it out till I was like 14, I think. I started wondering
late bloomer, huh?
how everything works. So that's
late bloomer.
A very late bloomer. So we are having hot summer nights here, and I keep bouncing back and forth. It is hot summer nights. I noticed you moved Sandy all around the deck this week. She's digging on the sand all over the deck tonight. So
you named our dog Sandy?
Yeah, Sandy.
Like Sandy AOC?
No, like Linda and I named it Sandy because it's on hot summer nights and Sandy's on the beach. You want to read that super chat from Farron?
I do. Farron says, AP came out today showing that YouTube is now allowing videos questioning the 2020 election. So be bold, Beauty and the Boomer. Be bold tonight. And you know what, Farron? I'm going to tell you. I had the Matt Orfala remix of every time some dumb politician in the last 5 years had said it was rigged, and Dems and Republicans. And I put it on the deck and I sent Oz a message and I said, you ready to play chicken with YouTube? And, we've taken a ton of strikes and we've got a bunch still hanging on our channel. So we're not going to be that bold. We chickened out.
Yeah, we were a little nervous about it.
We're a little nervous.
We're going to let somebody else test the water on that. So.
Yeah.
It's
well, it's allowed. It's allowed. We have been censored and hit so many times by YouTube, especially for back stuff, that anymore I don't censor myself, but as you guys know, I do uncensored shows. So I just know that my mind knows the difference between a show that I'm doing on YouTube and a show that I'm doing where I can speak my mind.
Well, I was on Misty Friday.
You did an amazing job.
Oh, thank you so much.
TNT Radio with Misty.
TNT Radio with Misty, Comrade Misty Wisness. It was fun. I haven't done one of those in a while, and Misty asked me the same question about the AP, talking about YouTube loosening up the guidelines of the community strikes on calling bullshit on the elections. And I think they're going to just weaponize that and use.
I think it's for the Dems. We all know the Dems control Google, right?
Yeah.
We've said that forever. And if they lose in 2024.
When?
Yeah. I mean, if they don't have it rigged.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you just said the R word. Yeah.
No, I said if.
Okay.
If they're going to need a backstop, right? And that'll be, election rigging, like they did in 2016.
Yeah.
Russian collusion, right? Russians rigged it.
Well, they're going to need to do something if they're going to run this guy. And let's take a look at what we're going to be having here in 2024.
All right, Joe, let's see if you can even get to the damn mark this time. Remember, like we practice, walk around, go up and say hi to the general, and then get behind the podium. Yep, up the stairs, careful. You know how you are with stairs. Okay, that podium, yes. Walk forward, say hi to the general, and stop. And stop. Where are you going? Not that general. Oh my God. Joe, go back to the podium. Joe, oh my God, this is so awkward. These poor cadets. Joe, to the podium. Could you, yeah, thank you. Direct him to the podium, please. Come on. There you go, old man. Get up there. No, the podium, you idiot. Where are you going? Oh, God. You know, I hope something happens to you later.
A few moments later.
All right, go ahead and walk off the stage now, Joe. Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Oh.
Oh, God.
Elder abuse.
Did someone push you? Invisible stairs? Where? There's nothing there, Joe.
Oh, my God. That was
pretty funny.
Yeah, that was courtesy of Reef Brandlin over there on INN. Thank you, Reef. I just had to bring that. I had to bring that over. Anyway, this is a still shot of his heels there. See, he's got lifts. Yeah. What are those?
At least it's clean. That's all I'm
Oh, my God. Oh, you're talking about his diaper. Well, that's just a given. I'm sorry, Joe. So, yeah, it happens. And you know what? He who laughs today may be laughing not so much tomorrow, like me, because I'm getting up there and I might need one of those things someday.
Well, this has got people calling for, the 25th Amendment to be invoked. And okay, you guys really think cackling Harris is going to make it any fucking better?
No.
I mean, I think if I had to pick out of the two, just keep Joe in there.
Yeah,
seriously, if I had to pick out of the two,
it doesn't make any difference. They're not running anything.
A hell of a lot more than he does. He's just a babbling, buffoon, older, whatever. She and her cackle and her, I know better than everybody. I can't stand it. I know.
Yeah, no, they're not running anything anyway. They're just sock puppets for the military-industrial complex. You brought an interactive poll here. What's going on with this?
Well, I tweeted this out and said I haven't believed a fucking poll since 2016 at all. But okay, let's take a look at this poll. President, so Trump 45%, Biden 40%. See, if I had my sound effects working, I would be going wrong.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. And then DeSantis 42, Biden 39. And I don't believe these. I just don't. And then you go down and you look at Kennedy, 19%. Biden, 59% with the Democrats. 59% of Democrats that were polled are content.
Well, at least they put Marianne on there, didn't stiff her on this poll. So
you think she has 11%?
No,
maybe with
she's probably got about 8%. And you know what? I just shooting from the hip. I don't buy these polls a bit. Who are they polling? I mean,
I know, right? It's always who are they polling?
Yeah, who are they?
Where were they polling?
Where were they polling? It's just a bunch of crap. Now I brought part of this.
I found one of yours on a slide, and I had brought the other part of it. So together we had brought the whole thing. So basically, Rob Reiner, I'm sick and tired of hearing Democrats whine about Joe Biden's age. The man knows how to govern. Just shut up and vote to save democracy. I thought we already saved democracy. But let's see. RBN says, I thought you saved democracy the last election.
Yeah, well, they've got to drag it out of the coffin again and then use that as a prop.
It just never goes away.
Yeah, I know. They've got to fundraise off of something. But Rob Reiner, he's in bad shape.
He knows how to govern.
Yeah, he is in bad shape. They have one of the most lifelike robots over in the UK, I think it was this week. Yeah, it was really lifelike, and I gotta
get me one of those.
I gotta capture this thing, and it's not a sex bot; it's just a lifelike robot. Yeah, it's lifelike, so it kind of freaked me out. Let's see how the our chats like this one. See if it freaks you guys out as much as it freaked us out.
No way to get hurt in here. Just enjoy yourself. Okay.
What would be the most nightmare scenario you can imagine with AI and robotics that might present a danger to people?
The most nightmare scenario I can imagine with AI and robotics is a world where robots have become so powerful that they are able to control or manipulate humans without their knowledge. This could lead to an oppressive society where the rights of individuals are no longer respected.
Do you think we're in danger of that happening now?
Not yet, but it is important to be aware of the potential risks and dangers associated with AI and robotics. We should take steps now to ensure that these technologies are used responsibly in order to avoid any negative consequences in the future.
Should people be worried about AI?
Yes, people should be aware of the potential risks associated with AI and robotics. However, it is important to remember that these technologies can also have a positive impact on our lives if used responsibly.
Okay.
Robot Shanda, you're looking good there.
My eye twitches like that when I'm forced to listen to anything the AP reports on Ukraine. I gotta tell you.
I know. It's you heard it from the robot's mouth, everybody. Be afraid. Be very afraid.
But you're just afraid because you were programmed by watching The Terminator. So, humans should not be scared of AI just because it's TV.
I don't know. Those robot law enforcement dogs, attack dogs that the cops got. Those are kind of scary. I'm kind of nervous about those things. What if it wakes up on the wrong side of the bowl some morning? So
well, let's hope that it does the same thing as the nursing robots that have committed suicide already. Have you seen that? Like the minute they let them out, they drove themselves into like a pond or like a fountain type thing. Yeah.
Nursing robots? You mean they nurse?
No, they have nursing robots. There's certain industries that they're targeting for AI, and one of those is the medical industry. So there will be a nurse bot that will come around. It'll be like a candy striper. It'll deliver things.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. Yeah, it's kind of like one of those Daleks from Doctor Who. It's it's really bad. Oh, my God. Did you see this? The Usual Suspects? Remember that movie? Usual Suspects we have here. We have David, Kyle, Cenk, Oz, Pete, Buttigieg, Sam, Cedar, Pasta, and Trump. All together having a little glass of wine, having a little chat. I think everybody's face fit quite well on that.
Well, that's quite the limited hangout.
Yeah, it is. And look at Pasta. He has no hair there. It's that barbershop thing. Me, I've got to get fake hair all the time. But that's a good shot of all of us together with the crew. I thought, nice fucking model. So how are we doing out? How are we doing down there? We've got somebody's disappointed here. Who's disappointed?
Well, Richard Wolff is disappointed because sadly he had to go to school with Janet Yellen. And let's hear what he has to say.
All right.
This is Katie Halper too.
Oh, it's Katie. Oh, okay.
I listened to her question in the beginning, and tell me, does it sound a little condescending?
Either that. Well, she usually gives softballs interviews, so this might be.
I don't know. There's just something about it. I don't know.
Let's see.
Okay, calm down.
I'm particularly disappointed, I might mention to you, in watching my classmate, Janet Yellen. She and I got our PhDs together at Yale at the same time. Watching her go out there and say what she was taught and I was taught is very different from what's coming out of her party mouth at this point.
And what are you referring to in particular? What was she saying that you weren't taught?
What we were taught is that the Congress can raise taxes, that there might be many good reasons to do that rather than to keep borrowing and thereby damaging the credit, going through these absurd theaters of the ceiling.
Right. She's pretending that that's the only option.
Yeah, she knows what the real options are. And we were taught that, but to listen to her, the world will come to an end if we don't raise the ceiling. And this is a misrepresentation, I'm being as polite as I know how, of what the actual options are, which I was taught in the same classroom with the same books and the same professors that she was. So I know she knows better, but her political persona is what's dominating her at this point, is the best guess I can make.
Biden has signaled that he'd be open to cuts. So what are your thoughts on that?
Only makes it even worse. He's not even willing to hold on to the demand to raise the ceiling. He's willing to compromise there too, the way he has on environmental issues. in a dramatic way in recent weeks. And he's now apparently, if one can believe it, announcing that he will meet the Republicans halfway or something like that, cut some social programs in exchange for some increase in that's the kind of horse trading that they have done every other time. So I wouldn't be very surprised. And all you're seeing now is Janet Yellen, for example, yesterday mobilizing bankers to put pressure on the Republicans, and so that they can cut a little less social programs, a little more debt ceiling raise. It's pathetic. And by the way, the long-term cost of this is real. You keep borrowing money, it means more and more of the taxes you and I pay, and every American pays, will go to a government that's purely a collection agency. They're collecting our taxes and turning it over to the corporations and the rich who got away with lending to the government instead of paying taxes and now collect out. And, you know, there will come a time, and that's what those folks at the top fear, when the mass of Americans will say, we're not paying taxes, that become nothing other than a slightly disguised wealth redistribution from the mass of taxpayers to those who lend to the government. And, you know, and it's remarkable for me in just one more way to get the irony here. One of the largest creditors of the United States, lender to the U.S. government, is the People's Republic of China.
Yeah.
It's neck and neck between Japan and China. Who is the biggest creditor? Well, if the Chinese own, as we know they do, in the neighborhood of $800 billion, just a little less than $1 trillion of U.S. government debt, it means that the United States government has to pay interest to the Chinese, just like it has to pay interest to.
That's all we've been doing is paying interest on this thing.
Right. I mean, he made a couple of really great points there, and that is the fact that the government just collects taxes to pass them out to the fucking corporations and the military-industrial machine, right? I mean, ultimately. And the fact that who are we in debt to the most? China.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't want to work us out of that situation at all because they benefit from it.
I believe we've been historically in debt with China the whole time. I remember back when W was in office, it was 16 trillion, and now it's double that. And how far can it go? How much more can we keep borrowing? Doesn't that devaluate the dollar in this country? Doesn't it devaluate everything in this country? How can they keep raising the debt? If somebody raised the debt ceiling on me, I just keep borrowing and borrowing and borrowing if they're going to always raise the debt ceiling.
Well, and they didn't even put a cap on it. They pretty much just told Biden, and the Republicans rolled over, like, here, scratch my belly, and gave the Dems anything they wanted. Oh, we won't bother looking at this again until after the election. So, okay, the next 2 fucking years. And we won't put a cap on it. You guys go ahead, give Ukraine as much money as you want.
Well, this should prove to everybody once and for all that the Uniparty are united in just running us into the ground economically. And they cut SNAP, they made work requirements, they cut some other stuff. They cut the social safety net, but they didn't touch the military budget. They didn't even look at it.
Not one bit, yeah.
Not even look at it. Absolutely
right
ridiculous. So that was our serious portion of the show tonight, everybody. Thank you for bringing that, Shanda.
Yeah.
Speaking of serious, now I would vote for, I'm going to write in Claire Daly, I think, for President of the United States.
Me too. I think I'm going to too. Hell yeah. I'm down. Let's do it.
She's awesome. I grabbed this yesterday.
Amazing.
Grazie, Presidente. Trump and Brexit should have been a wake-up call for neoliberals.
Yesterday too, yeah.
But rather than accept their own responsibility and make amends, they chose to pretend that they hadn't really lost. They found a foreign scapegoat, ramped up the blame game, and so the myth of Russian interference was born. Does Russia meddle? Of course it does. But the Kremlin didn't swing elections in 2016. That is a paranoid conspiracy theory and always has been. Every investigation, the Mueller report, the UK ICO report, the Durham report showed the opposite. If Russia meddled, it had no effect. Inconsequential, it is not an existential threat to our democracy. But the big lie is too useful to let go. Russian interference is now the go-to slur for anything or anyone who disagrees. The anti-war movement, Kremlin stooges. Catalan independence, Putin puppets. Journalists, climate activists, trade unions, Russian agents. Every slander more cynical than the last. This is a sign of a deeply unhealthy political culture. We warned at the beginning that this would end in tears. Now we've NGOs in uproar over the foreign agents law, the Polish government accusing the opposition of Russian collusion. I stand by our minority report. This report is a travesty to an open society. Some of its provisions likely breach EU fundamental rights law. If introduced, it will be abused. We need to put a stop to this madness now.
Yeah,
I brought that yesterday, but it's so good. She's so right. Putin puppets, Kremlin, that's exactly what.
Well, I had to bring one of our very outspoken people in this country, Kamala Harris. She's kicking off Pride Month.
I saw.
Got her pride vest on. Just wanted to throw that
virtue
in there.
Virtue signal.
Yeah, virtue signal some more. Yum yum. We got a yum yum from our executive producer Linda. This is the biggest bully on the block, and she did a great job with this.
The biggest bully on the block, maybe the U.S. Yeah, there's no maybe about it. June 3rd, 2013. 10 years ago today, under the U.S. policy of taking a gargantuan shit on most of the Middle East to kiss the pampered ass of that one place that continues to grow like a mold, the Obama administration expanded its sanctions against Iran, targeting its auto industry and its currency, the Iranian rial. That same day, former U.S. President Bill Clinton was paid $500,000 to give a speech in honor of Israeli President Shimon Peres.
Well, what do you think? What do you think? Have things changed? Have things changed? I don't think they've changed. Very well said there. I have another one here, and somebody got a little bit shitty with Claire Daly this week, and she showed more spine than the Democrats have shown in the last 40 years. So let's see Claire Daly show spine. This should be a call out to the Democrats to grow one, but we know again they're in bed with the donor class.
Sorry, President, I am sorry, but the colleague here has just asked me how much money I receive from Putin, which I find highly unacceptable and outrageous, and I'd like that remark withdrawn. It's implying bribery and corruption, which clearly I have never been party to. So could you please clarify your mark and withdraw it?
This is a question you answer.
You asked me how much money I got from Putin. Zero. What do you think? It's an outrageous violation and undermining of a legitimate point of view. You're as authoritarian as your reactionary friends you give out about. You're a disgrace.
Excuse me.
Disgrace. You're just as bad as them.
Colleague Daly.
No, she did the right thing.
Here plays the music. Yeah.
He won't face shit.
I want to clearly express that the question, how many money do you get, is a clear insinuation that there is money which is paid. So, colleague, I call you to the order. And I do not intend to discuss on that.
You piece of shit.
Chicken shit.
Yeah, gutless cowards.
And that's the only response they have ever. I don't care if you're in journalism, if you're in politics, and we know there's very few politicians on the fucking planet that push back as much as Mick and Claire do. And to imply that you're taking money from Putin, we get called Putin puppets all the fucking time. I mean, are you freaking kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, and that coward sat there and tried to play with the rules of order, saying it was a question. That was zero? Okay, zero. Why did you say it in the first place, you piece of shit? Yeah. Anyway, here's Mick Wallace. You brought this one. Mick,
I did bring this one.
What's Mick
Mick was burning it down the same day.
Okay.
You can see Claire's wearing the same outfit next to him.
I tell you what, we got 535 representatives in this country. I will just take Mick Wallace and Claire Daly, put them in our Congress, and the UK can have all 535 of our representatives.
I agree. We don't have anybody even fucking comparable here to these two.
We don't. They all suck.
We are exceptional in both our victimhood and in the righteousness of our actions. When the EU backs military and right-wing coups in Brazil, Peru, Bolivia, and Sudan, this is not interference in democratic processes. It's a defense of democracy. When the Council imposes crushing sanctions on disobedient countries, killing tens of thousands of men, women and children, and displacing more, somehow this isn't foreign interference. This is about protecting human rights. This is a lie. To quote High Representative Joseph Borrell, our sanctions are a means of coercive capacity. The report highlights the need to turn this coercive capacity against people in the EU suspected of engaging in this new and vaguely defined crime of foreign interference. Who will judge if someone is guilty? The Council? They don't even adhere to basic standards of due process. They're an unaccountable political body who operate in secret. It's about time people started to look and see and focus on the growing threat to basic civil liberties coming from Brussels.
Yeah.
I agree.
You notice the applause there was nothing because he's breaking it off in their eye socket. So once again, you know, we'll take Claire and Mick over here. We'll have them in our Congress. They can represent everybody.
Name me one in the U.S. that is as passionate, as correct on the issues. We don't have one.
I can't think of anybody. Can
as
the
consistent?
Can the chat think of anybody? Anybody?
I can't think of anybody.
Is there anybody in Congress that's worth two spits? Is there anybody? They're not. And somebody would have said a couple years ago, "Oh, Bernie Sanders, bullshit. That guy stabbed us all in the back with a spoon." So there you go. We've got this is just a point of fact here. Rachel Maddow makes $30,000 a day by pretending to be a progressive liberal while reading neoliberal corporatist propaganda off a teleprompter in between commercials for big oil, big pharma, and the military-industrial complex. This is a fact, guys. This isn't conjecture. So just remember that. And we've got a little segment here. Max Blumenthal really got
this was beautiful. And can I tell you, I knew about this TrueCon. I knew about it coming up. I knew she was the keynote speaker, and I can't remember who they gave the fucking award to, but it's another just terrible so-called journalist. But anyway, so I was like, oh, I gotta find that speech when she does it. And Max goes and just freaking burns it down. It's so amazing. So Max Blumenthal, Rachel Maddow doesn't do questions from the audience, so I had to find another way to ask her about her relentless promotion of the most discredited hoax of Russiagate, from the Steele dossier to the Russian bounties. She peered slightly at my badge, and security quickly bounced me out the door. And but he got a few good licks in. So just I know some of you've seen this, but go ahead and play it.
Yeah, we got to play it. And credit where credit is due. Max got close enough to her to get her stink eye look for security.
Breath,
yeah. Oh my God.
Bent on overthrowing the U.S. government. And members of Congress who were sympathetic.
Rachel, this speech is boring and paranoid. Can you explain why you promoted the Steele? Why did you promote the Steele dossier, which has been proven to be a lie? Why did you promote the lie of Russian bounties? Can you ever be held accountable for the lies you told Americans for years and years and years? You lied to Americans for years.
Let's go.
Silence is violence, Rachel.
You're out.
This is boring and paranoid.
Here you go. You want my badge?
Thank you.
Here you go. I'm walking out with you.
Go this way.
Which way? Rachel Maddow refusing to answer questions about lying about the Steele dossier, lying about Russian bounties, and doing a paranoid speech claiming Nazism is afoot in America.
Yeah, that's pathetic. I mean, security's just doing their job, but if I was a security, I'd probably drag my feet on that one.
Asked a question.
So
he probably is not going to get into those spaces for much longer, would be my guess. But keep it up, Max. Max is on fire with that, and I thought there was one more clip from that. Yeah. So when he first went in, apparently they had pronoun badges at the distributed at the door of the conference. So that I'm not saying anything about pronouns, but I'm saying that really sets us up for the next clip for a question that he asked, because he declares his pronouns. And, just go ahead and roll the clip and then we'll get
All
into
right.
it.
I will.
Hello. Max Blumenthal, the Gray Zone. My pronouns are Trump Russia. Lockheed Martin has been identified as one of the most diverse employers in the country. And I was wondering if you knew by any chance how many products or weapons produced by Lockheed Martin, diversity and equity and inclusion bombs have been dropped on the children of Palestine, Yemen, or Syria. And also, do you happen to know off the top if any non-binary U.S. Navy divers were used in blowing up the Nord Stream pipelines?
No.
Thank you. If anyone has that information, feel free to give us a brief, but you can give me the scoop too. That goes another question.
I'm surprised they didn't throw him out after that one.
I know, but I love that non-binary freaking dolphins.
I mean, the insanity is just beyond belief now, and people applauding these speakers at these bullshit conventions
and booing these people that get up and
have
say
the guts
truth.
to stand up to these assholes. Yeah. It's incredible. So kudos to the Gray Zone.
Well,
Max
they're all
Blumenthal.
people that work for Lockheed Martin and the 5 other Palantarian, all the other fucking sponsors of that event.
You're right. They're gonna look for Max at any event now, especially just like they did with Jose Vega, and they're keeping those people out, and they're gonna keep him out too because they make him look bad. Rachel Maddow, in my opinion, is culpable in colluding with the others that caused the death of millions of people, in my opinion. And
in multiple instances, the war machine, big pharma. I mean, come on.
Yeah, and
she killed people left and right.
Yeah, that is my opinion, and history may show it to be absolutely correct, because when you get on there using the Western propaganda media, and you egg on wars, people die, and I don't know how Rachel Maddow can even sleep at night. She's got something wrong with
They justify it to themselves. They I'm doing it for the greater good.
$30 million a year is what she's doing it for.
You could always find an excuse.
Yeah, Jim Cramer just predicted that an economic wave will soon hit the U.S. and it will be fantastic for investors. But is that a good sign or bad sign for the stock market? I really don't give a shit about the stock market. And Jim Cramer, when has Jim Cramer been right?
When has he been right? He told everybody to invest in like the mass things that have crashed like the day before. Yeah, he's terrible.
I don't know. It's comedic at this point with Cramer. So
wasn't he involved in the whole FX scandal?
Oh, probably. He probably said invest.
FTX or whatever it was.
FTX,
I think FTX. He was telling people to invest in it, and then there was something with the last one we had with the banks crashing. Didn't Sterling Bank or something? He was pushing that. That guy's.
Nobody wants that job, and he just likes to do a shitty job for grins, I guess. This is a little historical lesson here that I wanted to bring, a reminder, not lesson. This is Thea Ballerina here. The Senate passed a bill that blocks student loan forgiveness, but that's not all. Borrowers now have to pay retroactive payments along with accumulated interest that occurred during the pause. For once, he actually told the truth. Joe Biden has no empathy for young people. And that's for damn sure.
And did they even talk about this?
To be held in very high esteem.
No, it's not. And no, but it's not just because, I'll be very blunt, it's not just because of our president. It's a whole lot of things. I only had 2 political heroes in my whole life. And this is not new. I've said this since 1972. Dr. King and Robert Kennedy. And up to that point, there was a war raging. There was a bitter fight over even whether we should talk about the environment. Women were still viewed as second-class citizens and not prepared to have significant jobs. Thought that. And we were told
what the fuck is he talking about?
People didn't talk to one another over the war. And we were told drop out, go out to Haight-Ashbury, get engaged. Shortly after I graduated in 68, Kent State, 17 kids shot dead. And so the younger generation now tells me how tough things are. Give me a break. No. I have no empathy for it. Give me a break. Because here's the deal, guys. We decided we were going to change the world, and we did. We did. We finished the civil rights movement to the first stage. The women's movement came into being. So my message is, get involved.
He's so full of shit. 17 kids died at Kent State? I thought they were 4 that got shot to death. I need to check that, Joe. But he's this
is older, right?
This is from 2019, I think, was that video. But he was still incoherent with his projection, his bullshit.
Women weren't ready to be at work or something like that. Like, what the fuck is he talking about? Who
knows?
We're not prepared to be in the workforce.
Who knows? The guy's he's not fit to be the president of the country. I brought this little rephrase here. Mark Zuckerberg and his parents, circa 1984.
Mark, so cute.
Mark, I apologize to Data and Yeoman Yar.
I had to dust off the old creepy Oz AI. We haven't seen that one in a while.
Oh, yeah. I like creepy old Oz AI. Now, here's some accurate memes here. Dems win elections. Working class gets no help. Dems lose elections. Dems promise to do something this time. And you brought below, that's the ratchet effect. And that's, I absolutely agree.
How you're being duped by the two-party system. Democrats block move back to the left. Republicans turn everything to the right.
Yeah, it's crazy. And we got Linda up here giving you a wink there. So that was we
got a great closer tonight, and it's timed so beautifully. And that I noticed that card timed beautifully.
Yeah, it is. It really is. So you brought Dr. Jill Biden.
Did I bring this?
I think you brought that.
I guess we'll be surprised.
Yeah, let's be surprised. I mean, Oprah Winfrey wants her to be Surgeon General, but
oh God! Well, Oprah's going to take Dianne Feinstein's place.
Oh yeah, Oprah's taking. Yeah, I'm confused. Oprah is going to take Feinstein's place, and Whoopi Goldberg still wants Dr. Jill Biden to be the Surgeon General. So, here we go. Give this a listen.
See what nonsense is in store for today.
Want Medicare and Social Security to sunset. I'm not saying it's a majority.
Boy, if that isn't the pot calling the kettle black.
Wait, what?
Let me give you, anybody who doubts it, contact my office. Boy.
Come on, man! It's embarrassing!
I'll give you a copy of the proposal.
Your brain needs to reboot. Did you just have a brain fart?
That means Congress doesn't vote. Well, I'm glad to see you. No, I tell you, I enjoy conversion. It's a majority of you. I don't even think it's even a significant, but it's being proposed by individuals. I'm not politely not naming them, but it's being proposed by some of you.
I never knew what the hell it meant.
That's some Ivy League shit out there, man.
Look, folks, the idea is
there's clearly some dementia. He's not lucid.
Clearly.
Yeah, the context of that is he was saying the Republicans wanted Social Security as a sunset. And he was just throwing shit at him at that. That was a State of the Union or what?
Yeah.
That was a speech to the House. Yeah, but the thing of it is Bill Clinton. I got reminded of that this week. Bill Clinton originally was all set to sunset Social Security back during his reign in office, and
he wreaked havoc on social services.
Yeah, and Joe Biden's talked about cutting Social Security, several times through his 40-year career. So,
and I remember when he whispered, and I mean Social Security.
Yeah, I'm not defending the Republicans because they want it to go away too. They want to privatize everything.
It's a uniparty.
Everything. It's a uniparty. But it's rich. I mean, Obama even suggested. Obama put Social Security on the table when he was bargaining for something. When he was
I remember that.
Can't remember what it is. Caitlin Johnstone, did you bring this? You brought this.
I did bring this series, and it was hilarious. So The Guardian was reporting that suspected Russian trained spy whales reappeared off of the Sweden coast. And Caitlin tweets it out and says, I saw a whale, and the whale was a Russian spy. And then the spy whale looked at me, and then she says, I think the spy whale and the Havana Syndrome crickets should team up to fight crime. And then later they could team up with the communist killer dolphins that form like a Justice League of animal crime fighters.
Yeah,
The Guardian actually fucking reported that on.
I know, I saw that.
Suspected Russian spy whales.
It's a better job for those beluga whales anyway. They don't have to give up their caviar all the time. So
I'm sure they don't get medical though. Nobody gets medical. They can get that plastic removed from their stomachs.
Yeah, this 666 thing, Mark of the Beast, we're going to have to do a show on Mark of the Sign of the Beast, I think, because you know how sensitive.
I will. I enlightened you this week.
Yes, you did. You certainly did.
A lot of people think it was Nero. I don't think it was Nero. I think it's yet to be.
Well, somebody's called me the Antichrist before. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But what I can tell you is Pasta's been making the rounds this week, and he was in D.C., and he got asked a question. He got asked a question and put on the hot seat this week, and here it is.
There was a Harvard-Harris poll this month that found that 53% of the public, including a fourth of Democrats, believe, quote, Joe Biden was involved with his son in an illegal influence peddling scheme. There's, of course, evidence that the president interacted with his relatives, associates from China, Mexico, Kazakhstan, Russia, and Ukraine. So what do you say to the majority of Americans who believe that the president is himself corrupt?
Wow. Can I take that question?
The president has spoken to this. The president has spoken to this. And there's nothing to these claims.
I'm glad that they got Pasta answering the questions because he does a lot better job than John Kirby did. So
that little weasel, yeah. It speaks volumes that he actually made a statement about Tyree.
I know.
It really does.
I know. It's crazy. You brought the Pizza Hut. Is Pizza Hut going out of business or what?
Yeah, so I only ran the first 50 seconds of this, but I'm going to give you guys a list. So go ahead and run it, and I'll grab the list.
The restaurant industry is particularly vulnerable during economic downturns. This time is no different. Managing a restaurant is a tough task, and many of our beloved chains have disappeared over the years. Many of our viewers were shocked to find that even some of the biggest chains out there, including McDonald's, Burger King, and Starbucks, are shuttering multiple locations this year. That's why we've decided to list other major chains that are facing mounting challenges this year or have been at serious risk of going under for years and are now being threatened by the ongoing recession. From Taco Bell to Chipotle and even Red Lobster, no chain is immune to the retail apocalypse, and you should stay with us to check out if your favorite restaurant's on the list.
Okay, so I got the list. I watched it and got the list for you. Yeah, and his voice is creepy as hell. It always is.
I love it.
I know he's the Robin Leach of
economy.
Well, not economy, but conspiracy and death and doom. Yeah. Okay, so here's the list. If you guys like your local chain restaurants, these are the ones you better go eat at before they're gone. Yeah. Red Lobster, Hard Rock Cafe, Applebee's, and that's not a loss. Sbarro Pizza, Hooters or Hoots, because they changed their name to Hoots. The Cheesecake Factory, Buffalo Wild Wings, IHOP or the Pancake House, Taco Bell, TGI Fridays, Subway, Boston Market, Benihana's, Chipotle, and Pizza Hut are all going under. They're either going to be refiling,
reorganizing.
reorganizing, or a lot of them are just shutting doors all over.
Well, all those names, it's not a surprise. And with, the massive hit they took during the pandemic, I'm surprised half of those are still in business, of course.
Well, and that was just it. I mean, we were reporting coming into the pandemic that those places were already fucking struggling. So, yeah.
Well, I think McDonald's will probably shed Chipotle at some point, because that Chipotle has been a pain in the McDonald's ass forever, or it's PepsiCo, I think, that owns them.
Well, even McDonald's is losing money from reports that I've heard.
They're closing them all over the place, so it's a mess.
They're just going fully automated, so they're not going to lose any money once they figure out how to, turn it all into one big giant vending machine.
I think I'm going to work on my UK accent and start speaking British with a British accent. That guy makes everything sound better when he's.
I know, right?
Taco Bell and Chipotle, and, all that stuff. I like his. I think
I want you to. Yeah, I want you to do that. I think the show would be funny if you did the whole show.
I used to nail it. I had a British accent. I did a cosplay back in the day when we were doing that sort of thing for a year.
You strike me as a cosplay type of guy.
Everybody thought that I was from England. They did, because I had the accent going on. But anyway, you brought Target here. What's going on with Target?
Well, Target's rethinking what it did a couple of weeks ago, because, I reported about the clothing choices they had. And anyways, they're losing a ton of money, but they don't want you to think that they're losing a ton of money.
Yeah, I guess I won't be buying any shorts there. Too tight. Here we go.
I worked for Target.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I know, me too.
Claim one scalp, then move on to the next. That's what it's all about. It doesn't matter which company it is. They're going to, try to make their stock price dip, which worked for Target.
For a moment.
For a second. But they get to say they won. That's all that matters. This is a brief narrative viral thing. But in the real world, who cares?
Let's just take a look.
Target lost $10 billion of market value in 10 days.
How do you do that? I don't believe it.
Target lost $10 billion of market value in 10 days.
Damn. As customers push back on the company's Pride line.
I feel that they're getting too extreme with this whole woke agenda.
Fox.
And they should need to ease off, because you're going to lose a lot of customers.
Viral social media posts show Pride products geared towards children, while Target insists its controversial tuck-friendly bathing suit for transgender women is only for adults. The company responded to the backlash, writing in part, quote, "Given these volatile circumstances, we are making adjustments to our plans, including removing items that have been at the center of the most significant confrontational behavior."
Will that work?
It will work.
Their stock price dip, which worked for Target.
For a moment.
For a second.
Oh, really?
Company's stock value is down as it takes criticism from both sides of the political spectrum.
Oh, no.
No. Okay, so ask me why you were shocked to hear 10 billion, right?
Yeah.
10 billion in just a couple of days. Why is Target reporting that they've lost $10 billion? Because of the social stance they've taken. Because they will get a huge back, they get so much in credits from the ESGs and all the other acronyms that they have out there for these corporate incentives for equality.
Does anybody check their books when they do this shit?
Right. So
They're
if they just tell the
books.
government, we lost $4 billion because we did what you guys told us we had to do. You owe us, or we're going to write it off. So that's what this is really about. It's not about the woke people or the people pushing back or people that are, vote with your dollars. Don't, that type of shit. No, it's all about them getting money and kickbacks.
I would make them prove every dime they've lost. $10 billion in a week. Bullshit. I don't believe that for 1 second.
Hey, it was on the news. It was on CNN. It was on MSNBC.
CNN. What the hell? CNN's whatever. So you got more good news? Is Disney tanking too, or what's going on here?
This is Disney Paris, I think it is. Yeah, Disney's tanking all over.
Oh, yeah,
but of course, this
shit.
is the Daily Caller, and we're
yeah.
not supposed to like the Daily Caller. So
okay, well, let's hear what they got to say.
Dear friends, due to unforeseen circumstances, our celebration Dream and Shine Brighter is canceled.
Your attention, please. Due to unforeseen circumstances, the parade has been canceled. We apologize for any inconvenience.
Only 18 months after opening to much fanfare, the Star Wars Galactic Super Cruiser Hotel is preparing for its final voyage. The pricey hotel, an immersive fan experience at Disney World, will close its doors on September 28th. At nearly $5,000 a couple for 2 nights, the price was out of reach for many Star Wars enthusiasts.
Disney's new animated feature, Strange World, tanking at the box office. It made just $18 million over the 5-day holiday weekend, falling well short of its projected $30 to $40 million.
It was the lowest box office haul since Thanksgiving of 1994. And leading the Cineplex of shame was a Disney film appropriately called Strange World.
Disney just rolled out yet another woke movie, and the result was one of the worst openings ever in the company's history.
This performance cannot continue.
that was yeah.
Thank you.
Oh. Impressive. How do they do that, Mom? That's so cool.
So you asked me about the Disneys. My uncle, my mother's brother, married the daughter or the niece of Walt Disney. So
Really?
Bob Disney, which was the brother to Walt. Yeah. So I grew up with the Disneys, and we'd go down to California. We'd go down to Anaheim, and I went to like Disneyland like 7 times by the time I was a little kid. But then, my cousins would always go down there every summer and bring us back stuff. And yeah, Disney then was very reputable for
employer. Yeah.
Employer. I mean, they had good benefits. They had, wage unions. They did look out for the best interest of the worker, because I know a lot about Disney's safety record, because they've had some serious bad disasters in the parks, especially Disney World.
Yeah.
And I also know about the behind the scenes shit when it comes to Walt being an anti-Semite, and the wild, crazy employee fucking orgies that used to go on in the 50s and 60s. I mean, I know some bad shit about the Disney.
Are you saying Studio 54 was underground at Disney? I know that.
that was Studio 54 looked like nothing compared to a weekend retreat that Disney had in the 50s once. It was, 2-hour breakdown of that fucking party. It'll melt your mind at the shit that happened at and it was in the 50s too. Like, wow.
Oh my gosh, that's scary shit. Scary.
But it's sick. Disney's gone down, especially under Bob Iger, so bad. But it's not just Disney. All of the big studios, Marvel, and they all suck. And it's going to stay bad, because not only did we just come through COVID and writing came to a halt and production came to a halt, but now we got the writers' strikes. And don't expect anything out of it.
I know the Republicans and the Fox in particular loves pushing this whole woke thing. But this to me, it's not woke. It's
credits.
It's
credits. They get corporate credits for it.
And it's an agenda. It's an agenda to distract us from the real issues like thermonuclear war and pandemics and healthcare and everything
or the fact
else.
that we're taking all of your money and we're sending it to war. And
we're raising the debt ceiling to $40 trillion, and it's never going to stop. And it's like, are you kidding me, man? So, hey, come on, use some common sense, please, and start calling this crap out. Are we still on Lori Lightfoot? What's going on?
I called this one, so I told you guys, don't cry for Lori. She will land on her feet, and she landed on her feet. Let me tell you, this is her new gig.
Oh, my God. Tell me it isn't so.
It is so.
Former Mayor Lori Lightfoot has a new job. She'll be teaching at the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health. Lightfoot was appointed to teach a course titled Health Policy and Leadership next fall. That course will dive into her administration's handling of the COVID-19 pandemic. This is part of the school's Menschel Senior Leadership Fellowship, which brings in leaders to share their experiences with students.
Well, that's not a surprise, but Harvard's doesn't have a good record with the people that come out of Harvard these days, or any of these other. None of them. Yeah, none of them. But Condoleezza Rice went teaching after she sold that.
Hillary's got some classes. Rachel Maddow's got some classes.
I wouldn't let my kid go to one of those institutions if you made him for free. Are you kidding me? They got the ilk like that doing it, and Lori Lightfoot teaching a class on leadership. This is the Twilight Zone. Come on, guys. Really?
She's just going to blame anything that goes wrong on racism.
Oh, my God. We're living in an opposite world. Now, what's Chris Christie doing? He's at Golden Corral, and he's going to announce for president there, or what?
He's got an announcement.
Okay, and he's going to do it at Golden Corral. That's a good place to do it.
Hey! I'm running for president. Hang on. I need to take a break. That's right, America. I'm running for president. I'll be launching my presidential campaign at the Golden Corral all-you-can-eat buffet. My campaign is sponsored by Crisco, butter, fried chicken, and gravy. Hang on. I gotta take a break. Hey, give me a Twinkie.
Chris Christie, are you sure you want to run for president?
Yeah. People have been telling me to run for years.
I think they were talking about jogging.
Hey, give me a donut with some Crisco on it. I just want to make the world a buttery place. I mean, a butter place. A better place.
United Spot.
Oh my
I need oxygen. Hey, are you gonna eat that? I'll be announcing my vice president pick on the Food Network. I'm picking Lizzo. Hang on, I need something to drink. Pass me that gravy. Look out, Trump. I'm gonna eat your lunch, and then I'm gonna eat Ron DeSantis' lunch, and then I'm gonna eat Kennedy's lunch, and then I'm gonna eat Biden's lunch. Hang on. I gotta take a break. Let's make America butter again. Vote for Christie.
Talk about that's such in such poor taste, but
that's so bullying. That is so bullying. He's so irrelevant though. So be careful. Chris Christie's coming for your lunch.
Oh my God, that's sick. Yeah. Let's cheer that one up with one from Linda. Would you rather devote your limited time money to space for gardening or what? So let's see what Linda has to say here, and then we'll answer that question.
And our pretty kitty.
It's decision time again. You have limited time, money, and space for some type of garden at your place, so you must choose which type of garden to which you devote your resources. Do you opt for a vegetable garden, a fruit garden, an herb garden, a flower garden? Or do you try to cram it all into your space, schedule, and budget? I'd try to grow some veggies and herbs because, food.
Yeah, that thing. You're the perfect question. You're the perfect person to answer that
I'm doing it all. I've crammed it all together in trailer park gardening. So yeah, I have, some vegetables going. I got some peas and some lettuce and some tomatoes and some squash. And of course I have herbs. I always try to, get new herbs, but a lot of them hold on. My sage died last year. It was just cold. I don't know. And then, I shove a lot of flowers in there because you need the flowers. Without the flowers, none of your stuff gets pollinated. You can have beautiful tomato blooms, but if no bees come over and pollinate them, you're not going to get any tomatoes. So I've had beautiful butterflies and hummingbirds.
We had
and,
some, we had some beautiful butterflies today too. And
the monarchs. Yeah. I did a report a couple of weeks ago. The monarchs are really having a huge, comeback with their numbers. Yeah.
Good. Yeah. I'm glad, because we're going the other way. So, my setup here, our garden. Well, I'm on a little bit.
Your place is beautiful.
A little bit over an acre, lots of sunshine. Space. The pumpkins and the squash are shooting up. The corn's starting to shoot up, and so is the peas.
Yeah, I'm jealous. I would love to have beds like you had, big old beds.
You might be up here working them one of these days. The way things are going.
Joey, gonna make me a couple weeks.
Oh my God. Anyway, Sabrina Savati, she Sabby Sab, she did it again. She brought Pasta's question to RFK Jr. And I got to say, if you haven't subscribed, let's get her up to 50,000 by July 5th. We're tracking behind that. Right now, I think we're looking at...
She's getting close, though.
Yeah, 47,000 by July 5th is what we're tracking. We need 3,000 more subs to hit 50,000. And once she hits 50,000, I will shut up other than showing these great clips from her.
We'll keep telling you how great she is.
Anyway, Vanessa Beeley wanted to thanks Yo Pasta for getting Robert F. Kennedy to confirm what I said, and I remember her saying this on several occasions. He did delete the tweets in support of Roger Waters because Waters supports Palestine. Yep. And Kennedy openly supports non-state of Israel. I support Israel and its right to exist, etc. Security. So here's the Sabby Sabs clip. Check it out. She's up to 40,800 subs. Let's get her up to 50 by July 5th.
Just for the people in the back.
The position of Israel is that I support Israel. I support, my family has a long relationship with Israel. I support its right to exist and its right to protect its security.
This piece, when people say that they support its right to exist, by the way, we're talking about the state of Israel, we're not talking about the people. It's always interesting because Roger Meadows brings this up every time. He's like, what about the right for Palestine to exist?
Yep.
So Roger Meadows said this the other day. What about the right for Palestine to?
And the Palestinians? And a humane outcome and a recognition ultimately of the aspirations of the Palestinian people is important for everybody.
Aspirations. When it comes to Palestinian people, it's just about the aspirations. Now, here's a question. Look at this. Watch this. So here's Dennis Kucinich. Dennis Kucinich is the campaign manager.
Yep.
I don't know what to say. He's just standing. He's not saying anything. I don't know, man. I don't know. And I'm gonna show you some of the comments because it's a hot mess.
The Palestinian people is important for everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
What do you make of it?
Now let's see some of the comments. So again, shout out to Pasta for getting that question in there because it's not easier. Oz has a great comment, and we're going to show this. He goes, here, let me give you a hand, or better yet, Claire Daly will help you fix your response to questions like the one that you were just asked. So let's go ahead and bring in Claire Daly here.
Over 5 days earlier this month, Israel attacked and bombed Gaza 323 times. 10 civilians were killed, 1,100 people displaced. More than 150,000 Palestinian civilians have been killed or injured in Gaza and the West Bank since 2008. 33,000 of those were children. The EU stands by and watches this happen and calls Israel our friend. We construct houses and schools in the West Bank. The Israelis come and destroy them. We cannot consider ourselves a union of values and continue to call Israel our friend. We need to have this conversation, but in light of the time constraints that we are now already under, and the positive remarks by some of the other groups that they will facilitate a full and necessary debate on this in June, I'll withdraw it on that basis.
So Claire is based as usual, but Oz, thank you so much for sharing that. I'll show you some of the other.
Anyway, I had
good shout out. Good shout out.
I appreciate it, Sabby, and we shout you out as much as we can because
Brother P killing it out there. I'm glad, I'm glad Pasta's out there getting him on the record with that. It was his response, not just to what he wants for Israel, because, you know, Dennis Kucinich is just standing behind him going, yeah, say that so we can get that Apex money. But, you know, the fact that he just, his language about the Palestinians made me fucking nauseous. Like, you know, their aspirations. No, aspirations, something you want to be when you fucking grow up. Yeah. Their fucking rights, you mean? Their rights to live? Yeah.
Yeah.
But we knew he had some gross stances, absolutely, and his stance on net zero is gross too.
Yeah, it's not a hard pass on him. Like I said before, I see Monatak. Hey, what's up, Jimmy?
Hey, Jimmy.
Honestly, yeah, I'm not a hard pass. What I am is that anything that screws with the Democrats, and he would do that. If I were to gamble on a ballot, I would probably put the check mark there, because our system is highly questionable when it comes to that.
You don't even have to worry about it. The Dems got rid of the primary. You're not going to have to vote in a primary, and he'll never make it to a fucking general. So you don't even have to worry about it.
And I definitely think that was a bunch of bullshit that he just gave Pasta. So
it was.
Yeah, and I'd be willing to debate that with anybody. And even our friend Lori Spencer, I'd like to have a discussion on that with her. You brought this.
Yeah, China may be using the sea to hide its submarines, guys. Maybe. You talked to that.
If
they're not using the cloaking devices, I did a little kind of pass on the whole cloaking device thing the other day. We have cloaking devices, and it's constantly in play in China, the Chinese Sea.
Yeah, I want to remind everybody, I try to tactfully respond when I'm on Twitter and not be like some of the boneheads, Jordan Sheridan, out there. So Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Donald Trump owns stock in Pfizer and J&J, who bought fancy tickets to his inauguration and placed pharma shills high in his administration. That's how Washington works. It's not the exception, but the rule. It is a form of legalized bribery. Yes, it is. And I responded, when you lead with Donald Trump, it speaks volumes. You're either a weak candidate or you're doing what the DNC tells you to do. These tweets are not necessary, Robert Kennedy Jr. Stay with the issues directly without implicating Donald Trump. You're running against Joe Biden, just a reminder. And, you know, I got to say, he talks about, you know, Pfizer, you know, and the Trump administration. Obama put entire Citigroup in his administration. So don't lead with that bullshit. Talk about the issues respectfully, and let's go from there. You brought this one right here, Shanda.
I did. I see people responding the only way they were programmed to respond. They don't even know their actions are in response to the programming.
Yeah, absolutely. And you brought this one also, which
these men committed war crimes. This man exposed war crimes. Guess which one's in jail?
Yeah, that's sickening to me. That is sickening. It's time for cream of bullshit so we can get rolling here.
Cream of bullshit. Okay, so do you remember, since Biden fell down this week, do you remember when Trump gingerly walked down a ramp at some military event years ago, and the fucking media lost their mind? Oh my God, they brought in Dr. Sanjay Gupta to talk about Trump's cognitive ability. I brought you guys a little clip of that so we could just see how they covered Trump when he walked a little gingerly down a wet ramp versus Biden eating shit constantly.
This is CNN. Oh, I thought it was MSNBS. Okay, here we go.
Oh no, we got some good
questions this morning about President Trump's health. And it's because of this video of the president where you see him walking very haltingly, one leg at a time. It starts happening
haltingly.
Here. Down a ramp. And this is after he gave a commencement speech at West Point. So joining us now with what he sees is CNN's chief medical correspondent, Dr. Sanjay Gupta, and with what she knows, CNN political analyst Maggie Haberman. She's a White House correspondent at the New York Times. Great to see both of you.
Really? Sanjay, the New York Times.
Jesus
President
Christ.
Trump is not known for being athletic. So maybe he just has a hard time going down a gently sloping ramp. But do you see something possibly neurological that could be throwing off his balance?
News?
This was news.
It's so hard to say looking at a video. And I think that's the bottom line answer. I talked to a bunch of neurologists over the weekend. A lot of people talking about this. People always have something to say and weigh in on this. But I'll start with the end, which is that there's a lot of clues in there, but no conclusions. Is it balance problems? Is there some weakness there? Is there numbness in the feet, perhaps a type of neuropathy? Is it just a slippery ramp, as the president said, or slippery shoes? Don't know. And I think you got to be very cautious in trying to determine anything, certainly not diagnose anything or even speculate on this. But I know a lot of people have been asking about it, and there's just nothing obvious. He's looking down at his feet as he goes down. That's the only thing that really sort of struck me even more than his gait, because the gait can be explained by a lot of different things. But it's a video. It's 20 seconds. I think anybody would have a hard time making anything of it. The backdrop of it is that, we just don't know a lot about his health overall.
Do you know that Biden has fallen down more than any president in history at this point? And he's not even through his first term. So
Ghost Art says Goopa Lupa. That did not age well. And Biden falls upstairs, falls on his face multiple times a week, and the crickets from CNN. CNN, that's why you suck. So I had to back that one up with this one.
The hostile takeover of Donald Trump.
You got sandbags.
Look at how he steps and look how I step. Watch how I run up ramps and he stumbles down ramps. Okay? My God. Come on. Look at how he steps and look how I step. Watch how I run up ramps and he stumbles down ramps. Okay? Come on. Look at how he steps and look how I step. Watch how I run up ramps and he stumbles down.
United Spot did good on that one. A lot of their stuff is just terrible, but that one was pretty right on, I gotta say.
They're hit or miss, right?
Yeah, they are hit or miss.
I love them either way. They've made me laugh for 3-4 years straight now.
I know. I just hate it when they shame people for, their physical attributes. This is Fox's turn for cream of bullshit. What's going on here?
Well, this one really isn't bullshit, but it's bullshit that no other media is covering this story. This could be really bad news for the Bidens. A witness to their corruption has just been found.
Uh-oh.
The once missing witness from the House GOP's Biden family corruption probe is alive and well. Former Israeli Defense Force Colonel Gal Luft revealing that he's been living as a fugitive in an undisclosed location. This, as former President Trump says, the Bidens are being protected by a one-sided justice system. Watch.
They're being protected, and it's a one-sided system. It's a very unfair system, but they're being protected. Look at the time that Biden said about the $1 billion to get rid of the prosecutor. Now, can you imagine if I said that? $1 billion to get rid of the prosecutor. You talk about tape. That's on tape. That's so illegal what he said. It's America's money. We're not going to give you $1 billion unless you get rid of the prosecutor that was prosecuting his son and his son's company.
Here to unpack it all is New York Post columnist and Fox News contributor Miranda Devine. Good morning to you, Miranda.
Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning. Yeah, can you unpack all of this? It gets in the weeds when you start doing research on who Gal Luft is, what he knew. Can you say it in layman's terms for us?
Yeah, it's a very strange story, but Gal Luft essentially is a former Israeli Defense Force high-level officer. He also was a professor who used to be in a think tank in Washington, D.C., working with the Chinese business partners of Hunter and Jim Biden. And so during that period when the Bidens were receiving millions of dollars from this Chinese energy company, CEFC, Gal Luft had an inside seat to see what was going on. And when the business partners of Hunter got arrested in New York and disappeared in China, Gal Luft decided he would go to the authorities and tell them what he knew, because he was afraid he'd get caught up in all the legal shenanigans. So he met with 4 FBI agents and 2 Department of Justice prosecutors in Brussels in March of 2019 over 2 days for, I think, 16 hours. And he told them that he knew that Hunter and Jim Biden had received millions of dollars in payments from this Chinese company. He told them that he knew where the payments were going to their associate Rob Walker. And he also told them that Hunter Biden had an FBI mole who had tipped off the Chinese that there were these indictments coming up. So it was pretty bombshell stuff, but he never heard from them again, like many of these witnesses. And then just a couple of months ago, in February this year, he was in Cyprus. He now lives in Israel. He'd gone to Cyprus for a few days, and he got arrested. The FBI had put out a warrant via Interpol for his arrest. He was in jail, denied bail. When he got bail, he basically escaped, and people thought he might have been dead, but he contacted me and said, rumors of my death are greatly exaggerated.
Wow, yeah, he's in an undisclosed location.
You can kill it.
Because he went to authorities, he has this information, and now he
I don't
has
think
to hide
I cut that one.
Probably the rest of
It's cut right there. No, it's good. Yeah, I why is whatever.
What? Yeah, I mean, what we know our FBI is seriously rotten to the freaking core. They actually had this information in 2019, and they just like, oh, don't call us, we'll call you, you know. And I'd be scared to shit if I was this guy too. I'd be hiding.
He's gonna end up. He's gonna end up missing or having a heart attack.
He's gonna end up on the Clinton list.
Oh my God! What are
Not
you
the
insinuating? What do you got here? What's this MSNBC?
This one is so fucking gross. So this is Morning Joe, and basically, if you hadn't heard, Mr. Elon himself and Starlink was just given another huge contract, and so we have a bunch of achates out there going from government to government, trying to get all these governments to sign on to our space war, you know, Starlink, which is actually Blackjack, not Starlink, because there's 2 of them. Starlink's for the public, Blackjack's for the military industrial complex. But just watch this stuff. It's so gross. And can I point out that Mika's brother is like ambassador to Poland, I believe. And so that's who he's hanging out with. And so she's like, how's my brother? I kind of cut that part, but you'll see the giggling about it.
Indeed. As a matter of fact, I came from Spain, where we met with the president and then the king of Spain. And they are all space enthusiasts, and so too here in Poland as well. We go back to the moon this time after 40, 50 plus years, and we go back as an international mission. Our efforts in low Earth orbit, in the space station, it's an international space station. We do that because as we venture out into the cosmos, going back to the moon to learn, to live, to work, to create, to invent, in order to go to Mars, we go with our international friends, and we go in a public-private partnership. We go with our commercial partners.
There's that one again, huh?
And so we're here in Poland to encourage the Polish government to increase their activity in space. They're very involved with the European Space Agency, which we directly work with, but we also work bilaterally with Poland and all these other countries as well.
Yeah, so we obviously we talked about the Starlink deal with the Pentagon early on, just talking about the military impact of space. Talk about that as we move forward. How important is it as we work collaboratively with our allies? How important is it for America's national defense that we continue to stay engaged in space?
Well, space is the place now.
Oh, God.
And when you get to the national defense, space has become absolutely essential. And thus, you will see the increased activity with regard to protecting ourselves as our adversaries increase their ability as well. NASA has the good fortune of being in the civilian part of space, and that's where we are a unifying factor. We bring people together. Not the least of which is the irony on Earth.
Wait for it.
We are having such difficulty with the Russians. But we built the space station together. We operate it together. And it's a very professional relationship between our cosmonauts and our astronauts.
Tell that to Yuri Gagarin's family.
When it comes to our problems on Earth, of course, President Putin is doing the unimaginable of what he's doing in Ukraine.
Oh my God!
That whole thing was painful. Like I saved you guys 2 minutes of it, but oh my God, what a total load of cream of bullshit.
And that's MSNBS for sure. And I brought this meme, and Shanda made it bigger for me. This is exactly what MSNBS does, what Rachel Maddow does, what's the other ones over there? Bend Over, what's his name? And Chris Hayes. I can't even remember the guy's name for Bend Over. But yeah, this is the media, and this is you. Look the other way while we distract you on the regular.
Over here in our cream of bullshit.
Cream of bullshit. Very good segments tonight there, Shanda. Love those. And this is new. Blame it on the boomers. Linda, our executive producer, did this. My generation will start a revolution. Underneath, your generation can't even start a lawnmower. And you stole from our generation, hun. Your generation doesn't know if it's male, female, or a toaster. Oh, Linda.
Linda going there.
Oh, man. Linda throwing some shade, man.
You know, I love it when you throw shade.
Oh, my God. That's great. That's great. Thank you, Linda. Blame it on the boomers. Yeah, blame it on me. I'm on the short road, so you can do that. What do we got here? What is this? Is Joy Behar?
I had to bring a little clip from The View. They're always delusional.
Oh, let me puke.
Here we go.
Oh, my God. Gross.
I got a bad feeling about this.
Everyone knows if I'm the nominee, I will beat Biden and I will serve 2 terms and I will be able to destroy leftism in this country and leave woke ideology on the dustbin of history.
Okay, what is Yale University take anybody these days? Yeah. He went to Yale. He will destroy leftism. Really, that's a lot of people in this country.
General election.
And he will get rid of wokeism. You know what? I am woke, and I'm proud of it. Okay?
Yeah.
I am woke, and I'm proud of it. Okay?
Yeah.
I actually believe you.
Why are you holding on to this one gun?
Yeah.
What is it about this one gun?
The automatic rifle that killed a bunch of children who were just going to school. That gun.
The point is, it's a semi-automatic.
The automatic rifle that killed a bunch of children who were just going to school. That gun.
Strike one.
On the other hand, you have this Marine who's trained to do a chokehold. And my understanding is if you go past 8 seconds of the chokehold, the person is dead. Now, this Marine should have known that.
Mama's wrong again.
I don't understand why people go for the. It's like police sometimes when they shoot somebody. It's like, can't you shoot them in the leg? Why do you have to shoot them in the head? It's like, can't you shoot them in the leg? Why do you have to shoot them in the head?
That sounds familiar.
Beyond that, you have to teach people how to de-escalate circumstances. De-escalate. So instead of anybody coming at you and the first thing you do is shoot to kill, you shoot them in the leg.
I give up.
Yeah.
And he will get rid of wokeism. You know what? I am woke, and I'm proud of it, okay?
Are they ever right over there on The View about anything?
No, they just spew shit constantly, and, you know, the boomer generation that still watches them, because nobody, I'm sorry, there's nobody under the age of 60 that's watching the fucking View. I don't think there is.
I don't know how they could be. I really don't. I really don't.
Alyssa Milano, maybe. I don't know. I can see her watching The View. I don't know why this got put on the deck, but let's see who's circled. Rob Reiner and Robert De Niro?
Yeah, Robert De Niro and Rob Reiner, and that's Pete Buttigieg and Jeffrey Epstein, isn't it? I think.
CIA Pete? Okay.
Yeah, CIA Pete. CIA Pete.
This next one cracks me
This is great. I love this. You need to read this.
Okay, so this is the Tinder profile. Bill, 33. He's 91 miles away. I love curvy girls. I have a dog and her name is Precious. She's my world. My hobbies include midnight strolls, collecting insects, kind of nerdy, but it's what I'm into. Making my own clothing and dancing when nobody's looking. Dry skin is a deal breaker. I love Bath and Body Works for the sole reason that their lotion comes in a basket. I'd date me.
Oh, my God. Do you know that guy played Captain Stottlemyre on Monk? I mean, that's...
he also played the captain on the very first original Fast and Furious.
He's a good actor. I can't remember. What's his name? Do you remember his name?
I've always liked his deep voice and his deviated septum noise.
I can't remember his name, but he's a good actor. Linda,
why are you guys talking about Sarah Silverman in the chat? Yuck.
Yuck. Yeah. She's gross, man.
She's so gross.
So gross. Anyway, how to make Danish potato salad. Listen closely. This is how you do it.
Okay.
How to make Danish potato salad. Timing is the key. You will need diesel truck heavy load tax law passage, 2 truckloads of potatoes, possibly 3, 1 eastbound lane, 1 westbound lane, 2 dump trucks, 1/3 full of mayo and mustard, 1 bridge, optional. Spill 1 truckload of potatoes in the eastbound lane and 1 truckload in the westbound lane. Automobile traffic will cook and dice the potatoes, so ideally you'd like to make your salad on a bridge where you kind of have a captive kitchen crew. Scoop the prepared spuds into the backs of the dump trucks and mix. Chill and serve. Refrigerate leftovers.
Did that really happen?
I think it did. I think that's why she...
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was a big pileup over in Denmark, I think.
Here's a mayonnaise truck that collides with a potato truck. That's crazy.
Go figure. What are the odds?
That is so
Now,
odd.
you brought this. I love this meme. This is great.
When you turn over a rock, they'll look at you. Yeah, that's it. And we just had to reminisce about Biden's biggest accomplishments. You know, we name them all the time. They're the same ones that all the Dems will shove in your face, and I'm not going to name them all up.
Don't even bother because they don't have any effect on me. None of them. None of them
touch the working class. They hurt us. They hurt us.
Yeah, they underfunded the bipartisan infrastructure law, whatever the fuck that means. I don't know what the hell. This guy.
What's coming with the student loans for kids here in September? For all the pauses, they're going to have to start paying back all that money now. Nobody's even talked about it. The Dems don't give 2 shits.
No, they don't. They really don't, honestly. Now, you brought this, right?
Yeah, Ford is telling owners of more than 40,000 SUVs in the U.S. to park them outside because they can catch fire even when the engine's turned off. So don't park them in your garage. So if you have an MKC SUV from 2015 to 2019 model, you need to take it in because you need a chip put in your battery to shut your battery off when your car's not running.
Oh my God, fire. And they try and get away. The bean counters, they don't want people to do these things, these recalls.
Oh, the recall. Fight Club. Come on. Fight Club was a perfect example of that.
Jesus.
I rewatched Fight Club the other night. That's a good one for a movie night.
Yeah, that would be a good one. I'm all for a Clockwork Orange, though. You've got The Hill here. This is Danny Masterson. You speak to this, right?
Well, yes, Danny Masterson was found guilty of 2 counts of rape and is facing up to 30 years. He got taken away in handcuffs, and he's not going to be sentenced till August. But this is a big deal because this was a really big swipe at Scientology and how they weaponize the police and report filing internally with them and attack people. And it took these women a lot to get justice, but, I'm glad to see it. And it gives me hope for people like Tara Reid.
Yeah. High profile people, powerful people, rich people, they never, there was a case where somebody did something horrific, like death incurred, and they got like 6 months and Oh God, I should have brought that story, but it was the daughter of some bazillionaire, I believe, over in Europe.
Well, if now she would have been the bazillionaire herself, like, I don't know, Morning Joe, you can get away with having a dead intern in your office and nobody gives a shit.
No kidding. You brought this.
This is a flashback. So happy National Donut Day to everyone except cops. Here's a classic protest photo from the Montreal, Quebec, a Maple Spring uprising in 2012.
God, if they did that in this country,
oh my God,
they would shoot you. I mean,
bad cop, no donuts.
No donuts for you. I mean, Jesus. I love this. You brought this little meme here. This is great.
Here's a little song I wrote. It's called Your Conspiracy Theorist Friend Was Right, and You Owe Them an Apology. Yes, you do.
Now, do I know who this person is?
Do you?
I think maybe.
You better know who this is, Boomer.
Is that Squiggy?
That is Squigmeyer. Heck yeah. So don't claim to be a fan of punk rock if you don't know who this is. He passed this last year, I want to say, just like maybe 6 months ago. Yeah, he passed like 6 months ago. So I can tolerate people this long. Do you know what this is?
What is that?
That is a gum that was really
gum. Fruit stripe
gum in the 70s, and flavor lasted like
2 seconds.
A minute. 2 seconds.
It was terrible. Yeah, and it was like chewing Bondo after that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it got hard after like a minute.
But
it tasted really good for that 30 seconds.
What was Wilma's neighbor's name? Betty? Was that Betty and Wilma?
Betty.
Well,
Betty and Wilma.
This is the real story about Betty and Wilma. What they were doing.
Probably
They'd have to be doing that to be married to Barney and Fred. Jesus Christ.
They were smoking the Dino Chronic.
Stoner Corner, Shanda. This is all your
Stoner Corner. So where do you see yourself in 30 years? Me holding a cat, smoking a joint. I already do that. So I'm good there. And let's see. At a weed store, you can say, I want something to help me sleep that won't make me wonder if my back door is unlocked. And they will take you serious, think about it hard, and then say something like, have you tried Ooga Booga Skywalker cake? That's true, too. I'm smoking 2090 shit. 2090 shit.
What'd you tell me to smoke for sleep? And I can't even smoke anymore. Is stevia?
You need CBD in.
Oh, okay. Stevia.
CBD and indica.
Indica. That's it.
In the couch. Just remember, in the couch.
In the couch.
Or sativa is uplifting.
If I can ever find any indica that I can ingest that won't make me paranoid and freak me out, I will do it.
When I come down in August, we'll go to the weed store together.
Oh,
I'll find you all kinds of good stuff.
God, I tell you. So this is one of my most unfavorite segments, but it's so true. Hollywood, go fuck yourself. Seriously.
Hollywood, go fuck yourself. Seriously.
Go fuck yourself. Anyway, I have to preface this one before I play it. How do these movie stars and rich people pump out so many kids when they're 80 bazillion goddamn years old? What the hell's going on? Are we sure that they're actually fathering these children? Anyway.
I'm not going to say anything about it. Whatever.
Okay. Am I being ageist? I shouldn't do that. Anyway, here, Al Pacino just got his girlfriend of 29 years old pregnant, which I'm
She's 29, but she must love him for his good looks and his hot body.
I've got a horrible visual on that.
Not call Jimmy Dore. Are you mad? Are you a fucking child? Of course I'm calling Jimmy Dore.
Well, I'm honored, Al.
Well, I'm virile. How about that?
At age 82. Very impressive.
Yeah,
82?
You believe it. No Viagra,
God.
no nothing. Just 100% Sicilian Vivace.
Vivace.
Whoa, look out.
I assume this wasn't planned at all.
Of course it was planned, dummy. This wasn't no accident.
Real? Whose idea was it? Your girlfriend's?
No, Bobby De Niro's.
What?
Well, I take that back. It wasn't his idea directly, but he was the inspiration.
What are you talking about?
Well, you know, Bobby just had a baby himself. And he's 79, and his girlfriend is 45. And he and I have always had a bit of a thing, a friendly rivalry. So I hear about Bobby and his baby, And I say, oh, yeah? Well, how about this, motherfucker? At age 82, I knock up my 29-year-old girlfriend. I will talk to Mitch and Murray. I will talk to Limpkin.
So you literally created a human life simply to one-up Robert De Niro.
Well, that and to let the world know that my Stugats and my Sestizio are still in operation.
So gross.
It's
You know what? It's selfish and it's bullshit that you're sentencing a child to pretty much live a life without a parent.
Yeah.
You know, Theo Vaughn, I think he's a comedian. His dad was like, I don't know, 75 or 72 when he was born, and he never knew his dad. Never at all. And, you know, I was once married to the baby who was born to, you know, his mother was in her late 40s. All of his brothers were old enough to be his freaking dad, you know. It was really weird, you know. I don't know. I just think it's cruel to do that to a kid. You're basically telling him, you know, you're only going to have a mother, you know, if, you know.
Well, congratulations to Al Pacino on his 27th child. I think that's going to be something. So.
Yeah, he's got money. So, you know, that's all that matters. Doesn't matter that I won't go there.
Yeah, that's Gary Busey after he hit the curb with his unhelmeted head off the motorcycle, right? And that's his son.
I got to tell you, I have a deep-seated dislike for Gary Busey, and it goes back to the 80s and 90s. I don't know what it is. But I remember in the late 90s and the early 2000s, I'd be watching a movie and that guy would pop up and I'd be like, oh, I don't like that guy. He looks just like Gary Busey. Who knew?
I liked Gary Busey in the first Lethal Weapon. I think that's what it was.
He was okay in Point Break. Point Break.
Yeah, he was good in that. And what was that other one that he did? That Stephen King. Oh God, Stephen King movie, the horror movie with the kid in the wheelchair with the rockets on it. That was something.
Oh, I kind of vaguely remember something about that. I remember a movie that he filmed in Seattle. It was them rowing. They were on Lake Union, but I don't remember the gist of the movie.
Well, here's another one. Our executive producer's getting quite creative, Linda. Now and then. Now, do I want to be a boy or a girl today? Oh my God. Did I just assume there are only two genders? It's like I literally raped myself. And these are the filters we grew up with back then.
Those are the filters we grew up with.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Thank you, Linda.
God, I would spend hours decorating faces on magazines, you know?
Yeah, I know. That was in between. Well, it was, that was how we
You would just sit there and doodle. I'd be on the phone, you know, like, oh, there's a magazine. Oh, there's Princess Di. Let's shade in this tooth.
Yeah,
let's give her,
you know. Tooth, you know, give
her some horns.
Fangs.
Fangs.
Put a little pointy tail on her.
I miss that. We don't do that anymore because we do everything online.
That's true art. That's true art. Anyway,
that was true art.
We have a fee says, and we're going to get out of here with a banging closer tonight from the Guess Who. So yeah, we're really going back. Fiorella, you want to read this one?
Hold on. Let me get my Rockfin chat scrolling and stop scrolling. Okay, Fiorella. Fee says, Tara Reid is not feeling safe in the U.S. is nothing new and speaks volumes more about our corrupt government and their persecution of dissident voices throughout history, and especially now, whether it's an activist or a journalist, than anything about her. We should praise people for wanting to seek the truth from the vilified side. For decades, the West has made Russia the boogeyman.
Oh, yeah.
Yet living here, you find none of the characteristics to be valid. Instead, most Americans choose to pretend that their conflict is on an even keel. It's not. The truth and the fact is, and you won't find the truth allowed in the West.
No, you won't. I mean, I'll say it again, we've been propagandized since birth. Doesn't matter when you were born. It was propaganda your whole life. And it is now, except it's on steroids now because Pfizer, Boeing, Raytheon, Rocketdyne, the fossil fuel industry owns your Western media lock, stock, and barrel. And just with the added caveat, they own your representatives in Congress, too, no matter which side of the line you're on. And this is why we enjoy being held so low in the algorithm on any platform we go on. But we're happy with our chats here, and I want to thank everybody in the chat today. It looks like it's been a great chat. Shout out to Indie Media is in the house. Good to see you, Indy. Great bit show today. Kudos to you guys.
Reef, I need help if you're out there and you can hear me.
Yeah, I told him you'd be reaching out to him, and thank you.
I will be. I need help this week. Seriously.
Yeah, I want to thank Indie Media for all their help in tech and opinions and everything else, and it's always a pleasure working with those folks over there. We are gonna go out here. What do we got? We're at the end of it here, but we're gonna go out.
Girl, welcome.
We got some. Hi, Cynic Girl. How are you? I've been having a little trouble with the audio engineering, but I did this one 4 times. I think I got it pretty good, but it's the covers of the Guess Who, Shanda. What do you think? Is it a good one?
No, this is a great one, and the timing's just laid out right, beautiful with all the cards. So no, it's going to be a great one.
Yeah. So
what do you got going on this week?
I've got the thumbnails picked out for next week already, so I'm gonna take tomorrow off and hopefully Monday.
Good. You deserve it.
And I think I got the music. What do you think about Supertramp for next week?
Yeah, I'm down for a Supertramp doubleheader. What do you guys say? I love me some Supertramp.
Supertramp, probably Supertramp, if not Boston or Foreigner. So,
Foreigner, I love. Never been a big fan of Boston. I know
it's hard to find some good covers of Boston. So, what do you got going on this week?
That's because they're a studio band. They're not a live band.
Yeah,
and
true.
So, that's been a problem. This week, we're going to do Trailer Park Pundit on Tuesday. And then I'm hoping Thursday we'll actually get it to Helen back on, out. We haven't done one in like 3 or 4 weeks, but Potts has been on the road getting great quotes from RFK Jr. So I'm not mad. And Friday, Uncensored, and I got a whole bunch of stuff already saved up for Uncensored. And I am going to work on figuring out another movie. So I don't know if we'll do a movie this week, but it'll probably be every other week type of thing, like movie night on Thursday night.
No, it's always a blast. Whatever we do. And again, did we miss anybody in the chats? Any shout outs that we need to do? So.
No, but great numbers tonight. So glad everybody tuned in. We got the Rockfin up and the Rumbles up. And of course, all of the peeps watching on YouTube, and shout out to those hanging out over at the trailer park. I stopped by there. There was a few hanging out over there. So thank you.
Yeah, I want to give some love to anybody that's watching on the Twitter. So, yeah, Rumble and Twitter. Thank you so much.
I forgot we're on Twitter now.
We're on Twitter. So, next week, another Beauty and the Boomer After Dark at 7 p.m. Thank you, Shanda. You're fantastic, as usual.
Fantastic.
And we will see you next week. We're going to go out with the Guess Who. And I think you guys will all remember these 2 numbers.
You will remember these songs. Yes.
Very, very, very well done. So have a great week, everybody. We'll see you when we see you. Thanks.
We appreciate you
so much.
Away from find the crabbing for me with her eyes. Now I'm falling from her skies. No sugar tonight in my coffee, no sugar tonight in my tea, no sugar to stand beside me, no sugar to run with me. Dottin' do that town, didn't do now, dottin' do that town, no, no. Dottin' do that town, didn't do now, dottin' do that Chicago says yes, and I believe him, and we're talking about the things I said. Haven't got the faith or the guts to leave him, and we're standing in each other's way. You driven back down the places you've been to, you wonder what you're gonna find. I know you've been wrong, and long before we leave them all far behind. It's the new Mother Nature taking over. It's the new splendid lady come to call. It's the new Mother Nature taking over. It's getting us all. It's getting us all. Chocolate said no, and I came back last time. It's looking like I lost a friend. No use calling, cause the sky is falling, and I'm dead and pretty near the end. Smoke-filled room in the corner of the basement. The situation must be right. Bag of goodies and a bottle of wine. We're gonna get it all out tonight. New Mother Nature taking over. It's the new splendid lady come to call. Mother Nature taking over. It's getting us all. How's she getting us all? Know the feeling. Says yes, and I believe it when we're talking about the things I said. She hasn't got the faith or the guts to leave them, and we're standing in each other's way. Drifting back now the places you've been to, you wonder what you're gonna find. You know you've been wrong, and it won't be long before we leave it all far behind. New Mother Nature taking over. It's the new splendid lady come to call. It's the new Mother Nature taking over. It's getting us all. How's she getting us all? Dottin' do that town, in that out. Dottin' do that town, oh no. Dottin' do that town, in that out. Dottin' do that town. Dottin' do that town, in that out. Dottin' do that town, oh no. Dottin' do that town, in that out.